Hey everybody, welcome to another tutorial. This tutorial is about how to rebuild a Bogen 3047 fluid effect head. I recently purchased one on Craigslist and it needed rebuilding. Part of the learning process included rebuilding the head with the wrong kind of grease. I just thought white lithium grease would work, but unfortunately it does not. Don't use white lithium grease, don't use bearing grease, don't use regular grease. I will show you how to take the head apart, clean it, lube it, put it back together, and test it. Enjoy. I have purposely rebuilt the tilt axis with the wrong grease. So I've completely loosened the pinch bolt, and now I'm going to loosen this pinch bolt, and watch what happens to the camera when you use the wrong grease. That's the wrong grease. This roll axis hasn't been rebuilt yet. So it still has the old grease in it, which is the correct grease. I'm going to completely loosen the pinch bolt and watch how it falls. That's with the correct grease. There should be some resistance. Now even if we tighten this secondary pinch bolt, we will get resistance so the camera doesn't fall like that, but it'll be very jittery and jerky. I purposely rebuilt this tripod with the wrong grease. I've completely loosened the pan pinch bolt so the camera pans freely. So with the pinch bolt loosened completely, I'm going to attempt a smooth pan using two hands on the tripod. Now right now we are zoomed out all the way using an 18-55mm lens. Okay, so maybe that didn't look so bad. So now let's zoom in all the way. So that didn't look so bad. But notice when I start, no matter how hard I try, it's a jerky motion. There's no way around this. If you rebuild your fluid effect head with the wrong grease, there's just literally no way around this jerky motion. With one hand, smooth pans are even more difficult. Practically impossible. Okay, so I think you get the point. Clearly, rebuilding the head with the wrong grease is an exercise in futility. So let's move forward with the actual rebuild. So some tutorials will tell you to remove the head from the extension arm. I see no reason for that. So we're going to leave the head on the extension arm. In fact, the tripod makes a pretty good work surface. Step one is to use your 4mm Allen wrench to remove the tilt head. The right side socket head cap screw is a long one. The left side socket head cap screw is a short one. Once these bolts are removed, the tilt head's going to slide straight out. You'll see that there are grooves on the journal which match the grooves on the stand. The next step will be to remove the sticker that's on here, which is very similar to this sticker right here. Once the sticker is removed, we're going to use a 5mm Allen wrench to remove this socket head cap screw and plastic cover. The cool thing is if you pan, you can use that to loosen the socket head cap screw. The plastic piece here will pop right out. You will notice the plastic piece has 3 divots which correspond with the metal piece. Next we loosen the pinch bolt completely and this will just pop right off. Easy peasy. Now be careful, there's a plastic washer on the bottom which may stick to the metal piece or may stick to the bottom of this. So you don't want to lose that. Next you need to clean the parts. I find carb choke cleaner works most excellent for cutting grease. Generally speaking, I don't spray directly on parts. I spray on the rag and then I wipe. Because there's going to be a lot of grease, you might want to use a paper towel. I use one paper towel to collect up most of the gunk and grease, and then I use a second paper towel to fine clean the surface. Excellent. That's perfectly clean. Now we'll do the same to the head. First towel gets off the majority of the grease and gunk. Second towel is for fine cleaning. Now you may notice we have a little gunk left in here. So what I do is completely remove the pinch bolt and run a rag through the crevice to remove the grease completely. Got it. Alright, that's perfectly clean and dry. Be careful with plastics. Carb cleaner can eat plastic, so never spray carb cleaner directly on plastics. When you're cleaning, if you feel like it's getting sticky, then stop immediately and don't use the carb cleaner. I'd say that's perfectly clean. And finally, our plastic cap. Again, don't spray carb cleaner directly on any plastic surface. That's clean. Alright, now the fun part. We apply small, thin layers on the journal surface. And then we apply a small, thin layer to both sides of this O-ring. I'm then going to pinch some grease in between my fingers and just run it along this plastic washer. And I'm going to dab it too. I'm going to wipe excess grease on the inside of this part here. Now we reassemble. I reuse the carb cleaner rag to clean the grease off my hands. Some hands may be sensitive to carb cleaner, mine aren't, so proceed with caution. We then reassemble, with love, I must say. Oh yeah, that feels great. Look how smooth that is. Push, nice and smooth. Give a pull, nice and smooth. That's awesome. Now we're going to rebuild the tilt head. First thing we're going to do is remove this journal. So we've got to completely loosen all the pinch bolts, which includes this one. And it should just slide right out. So now I'm going to clean her off using the same techniques as before, so I won't bore you. And then we're going to reassemble. Use your finger to remove any paper towel remnants that might be left behind. That's perfectly clean. Worth mentioning, on the 3047 head, the knurled side corresponds with the side that doesn't have the sticker. So it's the opposite side of the handle is where the knurled side goes. Just like before, we're going to apply a very thin layer of grease on the journal. You have to go slow with this stuff. I'm going to spread it out. Once we have this journal all gooped up, we're going to place it inside the head. Oh yeah, slip in gently. Very slow and very gentle. Now you may notice a little goop around the outside. We're going to wipe that off. So remember now, we have to match up the journal with the head here. So we will turn this around and just slide her on in. If you slide this in correctly, the hole will line up perfectly. Again, using our 4mm wrench, we will insert the short socket head cap screw first. Turn our head. And now the long screw. I'm going to remove the roll head pinch handle so that I can turn the Allen wrench freely. A little snug there. And a little snug there. And we are good to go. Now we need to insert our pinch bolt. Pinch bolt number 1. And I am just putting the slightest bit of snug on this. And now the pinch handle. Oh yeah, that is smooth as glass. Oh, that's sweet. And now for the fall test. And there you go. That's what I call a smooth tilt. Pretty amazing. Afterwards, I do a final cleanup using the carb cleaner. Get her all nice and clean. Man, that feels good. Let's go outside and let's test it. Zoomed in all the way. Slow pan, autofocus on, servo on. You'll notice some jitteriness in the video. That is a digital artifact of the camera and the lens that is not due to the tripod. Slow tilt. Alright, turning the servo off. Slow tilt. Slow pan. Now turning the autofocus off on the lens. Now we focus manually. That looks in focus.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Also, I want to apologize for the digital artifacts. This whole video was recorded on a Canon 70D with two different lenses. I used an 18-55 zoomed in all the way, and then I used a 55-250 zoomed in all the way. I could probably reduce the jitteriness with an ND filter. I've got some on order, they're not here yet, so maybe I'll redo the video with some ND filters and see if I can't reduce that jitteriness.
Okay, and now the moment you've all been waiting for. What kind of grease did I use?
I used NYE PG-44a. This is what's called a damping grease. You can buy it in many different viscosities. This is the thickest on the planet, I believe. I like it. You may think it's too thick. You may want to try a thinner damping grease. That's what I used, and I like the way the head feels. If you're going to do really fast pans or really fast tilts, this is not the grease to use. This grease is really good if you're going to do like slow tilts, slow pans, or if you're going to use a telephoto lens like I probably plan on using. If you found the video useful, please subscribe below. It doesn't cost anything. Just push that little red button.